voice of passionate action, bringing fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom for today's shifting paradigm. Now, it is your moment to open your mind, relax into your body and spirit as we explore the greater meaning of your now experience. Bringing wisdom, laughter, and clarity, here are Shri and Kira.
Namaste and welcome to Shri and Kira Explore the Mysteries.
Oh, and we are. We really are today. Beloved angels, welcome. You know, I think, Shri, before we go any further, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you that were with us live this morning during our Mastery Mentorship gathering and ceremony. I'm still recuperating. I'm still coming back, so to speak, from what happened then. And speaking of coming back, one of the things Shri and I announced at the beginning of that ceremony this morning was that Shri had to leave to go pick up Sue. And so for those of you that don't know, our beloved Sue has been in the hospital having a fairly complex surgery, but by the grace of everything, and especially you and your prayers and your beautiful service of saying yes to helping her, she is back here at Tosa Blue Mountain today.
Yeah, she had a 2-day adventure in the hospital, and
Woo!
they said that her recovery was perfect and that she could be released to recuperate at home. And so we are at Tosa Blue Mountain home.
We brought her home. And I feel, Shri, that, you know, she still has some things she has to deal with. She is in bed resting. She is not here in the studio with us, but she is right across here in our Merlin's cottage. And but I would say probably about a week from this coming Monday. I think one more full week of fresh mountain air and incredible Tosa Blue Mountain heaven should really put her on the road to recovery.
Thank you to all of you who sent letters and prayers and well wishes, because love heals.
Yes.
Love heals.
Oh.
And we feel your love, and I know Sue does, and everything is proceeding perfectly.
Oh, you know, the miracles just keep coming. And speaking of miracles, you know, this very moment in October, we are at October 5th. This is of this month of very intense moments. And yet it's one big energy, remember? So it's just going to be this series of pop or drop moments woven together into one energy. And as we are here at October 5th, how many of you have already noticed what is happening? I've got a lot of emails here. And remember, you can always write us at guest@shriandkiraradio.com. And we do try to answer as many of your emails as we can. Also, you can call into the call board 517-208-1500. And last but not least, let's just give a big shout out to TFR Live. Namaste. Welcome. We're glad to be here over at onenesstalkradio.com, where there is chat happening, there is video happening, and there's audio happening. Over at YouTube, and are we at, which YouTube are we at today?
We're at the Oneness Talk Radio YouTube channel today, so catch us live there, video, audio, and chat amongst yourselves. Give each other a hug.
Please do, because as we are moving into this moment, remember that what was September? September, the cycle of the energy. Let's go back. So let's just start there. Remember, the energy trinity of the trinity cycle of the energy is always awareness, experience, choice, awareness, experience, choice. That's why we always feel like we have cycles. Yet, September was an awareness month. What was it about? It was about taking off that cloak of invisibility, right? Yeah. And saying, okay, am I going to be what the universe is kind of tapping me on the shoulder to be? And now that we're in October, the universe is saying, hey, if not now, when? And if not who? I mean, if not you, who? And that's what's really come forward right now, is this energy overlay that is really a precipice pop or drop moment. Mm-hmm. And this is not going to be the easiest thing to navigate, yet it's outrageously extraordinary to navigate. And when you can really hold it from a 5th to 7th dimensional frequency, an extraordinary month of momentum.
Yes.
Manifestation.
Yeah. We have entered a time that is an intense flow. It seems like every month has its own unique intensity, and certainly coming through August and September, we built up these choices. We built up a clarity and a momentum, and here we are in October, where we get to experience the fruits of our choices.
Yeah.
We get to experience that which we can be attentive to. There is an interesting paradox, because what you experience is in large part dependent upon your consciousness. And so there is this synergy between experience and consciousness expanding and lifting, being able to qualify one's experience ever more. Moving from the little blinds to the bigger blinds, as we take off our cloak of invisibility, we discover, there's a greater dome of invisibility.
It's like, whoa, what's going on here?
And the first catch here is get aware of it and see what the experience of this is, so that you can make better choices.
And that is exactly September, October, November. Don't you love how Sri just nailed that? So September was what? The awareness of it. And so how many of us, when we became aware of the dome, not taking off the cloak is actually not that challenging to take off, because sometimes we hold on to it, don't we? So that we can put it back up again. And there are many who do. But when we take it off and really free our hands, which is what? The throat chakra. Where would we be holding that if we weren't letting go? Throat chakra. So when we let go and we open up with our truth, when we begin to see the extraordinary, and I mean intricately co-created, perfectly manifested, custom crafted dome, that's the moment of choice. Because that dome is also the limits of your current realm of consciousness. It is also the self-imposed limits of your own definition of sanity and how you feel that should express itself. And so what it's really saying is, are you willing to jump off from the limits of your own perceptions of reality? And that's the moment. Wow, that took my breath away. I just felt a lot of you gulp. So breathe, because we are honestly at this moment, and everything has brought us here. And I also want to give a shout out, Shri, that I'm wearing my gray, I don't know if you can see it as gray over how it's coming across, but it is gray. And it also has this beautiful embroidery on it. And I'm wearing this today for Navaratri.
Yes.
Because today, based on where you are in India, it's either gray or white usually today. And I just wanted to say that if ever we needed to stand in the divine power of who we are, look at the timing of this Navaratri with the timing of what's happening. This is completely, I feel like it's just, the universe has just said, here's a big gold ribbon for everything that we've been asking you to share with people for the past 8 months. Go back and watch all of our monthly predictions, and you're going to be blown, I think as blown away as I was, that it's like literally they're all saying, okay, this is exactly what we told you was going to happen, and here we are, it's happening.
And what's kind of wonderful as we honor the Indian traditions, gray is the color of the neutrality, of being in that non-reactive place. And it's a wonderful reminder that with every journey, we must pause for a moment, breathe and acclimate, and then we continue our journey. And sometimes when we take a pause, we forget to reinitiate our journey. And it's very
well, we like the pause, and that's the red pill, blue pill, right? Because that's the pause moment.
Because we are all on a journey. And the question is, are you conscious of it? Are you participating in it? And so as we participate in our journey, we bow and say thank you to the blessings of Navaratri and the reminders of the power that come forward from that, and also to each and every one of us. We're coming up on a Mercury retrograde.
31st of this month.
And that's going to have another little amplification going on. And so for right now, let's ride the energy of October and let it lift us. Let it become the experience that ripens your perceptions.
Well, I love that today is the 5th. Because, in ascended numerology and when we do soul charting, what is the 5? Well, the 5, the Leonardo da Vinci, right? The universal human, the perfect geometry. It is the ascended Ankh, right? When we stand with our feet about shoulder width and we have our arms straight out, we become that energy pulsator, that generator of infinite energy and revitalization, the ascended Ankh presence. Well, this is today. today is that, remember that this is a 19-year cycle. And we've actually been getting a lot of email about the 19-year cycle. And if you don't know what we're sharing right now, please go watch our video at YouTube, Official Shri and Kira, our October Revelations and Predictions energy forecast for this month, because we are in a 19-year cycle culmination this month right now. And so what that means is that is another 10, right? The 1 plus the 9 is the 10. So we are in a cyclical culmination. Then we are in the 10th month. And then we are going to have the 10th day. Now, this is extremely significant because what this comes to is the 300, right? If you just add all that together. And so the 10, 10, 10 is actually, 30, not 300,
Right.
is the
3
3,
plus the 0.
right, is the 3 plus the infinite. And so when we look at that, this trinity of energies that I'm talking about, all of the trinities in all energetic traditions are receiving an amplification. So if the cycles of our consciousness as they evolve cycle through awareness, experience, choice, then knowing that October is the final experience month of 2019, here is why Shri and I were asked to look at the 2020 revelations, because January 2020 is the next time we will be in this experience. And so we are opening the bridge right now. That bridge is giving us a 90-day window to create a stable portal or a stable vortex, so to speak. And if Shri and I kind of move away for a minute, you'll see our graphic today. If you were part of our newsletter, you might have seen the bigger version of this, but the divine directors gave an extraordinary dispensation for 2020. It will be up on our website by tomorrow, and I encourage you to get it and start reading it. It will also be published in the Sedona Journal of Emergence on the newsstands, I believe, November 1. So you're getting a sneak peek at this 2020 revelations and predictions. This show is based on something that came out of that, and I think we should open up by reading it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please do.
All right. So let's do that. And here we are. Would you like to read it, honey?
Sure.
All right. So it's right. Oops.
Don't touch.
I won't.
I got it.
Don't touch it, Kira.
I got it.
All right.
Okay. All right. This is a wonderful insight from the divine directors. Many are feeling, sensing, knowing energetic overlays through a network of symptomology that you share so freely as Ascension Symptoms. These symptoms are more accurately understood as an energetic overlay of the ascended presence. I want to read that again because this is an important discernment. Many are feeling, sensing, knowing through the network of symptomology that you share as Ascension Symptoms. These symptoms are more accurately understood as an energetic overlay of the ascended presence. As the rising vibrations of Gaia and all her inhabitants escalates, this presence is calling to your body lovingly and firmly.
Now, breathe that in, because the guidance that Shri and I were given about the week ahead, and of course, those of you that have our app, this will be in tomorrow's weekly energy guidance as well with the expanded version. What is happening right now is that we are all at that if not now when moment, and if not you, who? And there is nothing wrong with the choice that you make. However, make it from an informed space. Know the consciousness. Go in with a consciousness or a conscious awareness of the choice you are making, because regardless of the choice you make, if the conscious awareness is carried forward with it, then it's actually assisting the soul's expansionary journey. So it's a time of celebration. It really, really is. And this is what I think is so powerful, Shri, is can I read the last line again?
Yeah.
Where they say, as the rising vibrations of Gaia, and they had this in capitals, all her inhabitants escalates. This presence is calling to your body lovingly and firmly. Now, beloved ones, what this means is Because we were asked to bring these revelations out right now, October 5th, that means that we're bridging over to January 5th. And if you look at all the cycles that are coming, there's a lot of significance in that. So as we do that, what is your body saying to you? And I always defer back to Archangel Zadkiel Shri, who reminds us that the body is our number one lie detector, that your body is going to tell you what's going on.
Well, and also that we have a sacred union with our bodies.
Yes.
The soul and the body are our partners for this journey. And so when the body begins to cry out, when the body begins to express the response to the energies, we must pay attention. Do not deny the body. Do not pretend or blame or in other fashion discount it, because it is your sacred partner, and you will be happier for having it if it's in a harmonic state with the soul.
Well, and I'm loving that you're sharing that. And, I want to just call forward Sue's very brave public example right now, that in this moment where the body is calling out, she made a conscious choice to say yes. To say, you know what, I will step in, I will have the surgery, I'm going to take whatever risk there is because I claim who I am.
Yes.
And this is happening on every level with many, many beings. And, I was sharing earlier during the Mastery Mentorship as well that both Shri and I, one of the things, and I really, really do bow before Silvana Spagno, who, if you have not checked into her new show at Oneness Talk Radio, Toto and Toto, please do. But her wisdom and her husband, Patrick's, and really doing something that many people don't do. They factored in our level of consciousness to what was going on in our bodies. And I can honestly say that all of the changes that I have made have given my body the reassurance it needs. Mm-hmm. And so now that my body and I are in harmony, I'm finding that I'm able to anchor at higher dimensions much easier. I'm able to hang out there longer. I'm finding less doubt about my own process. And this is what I believe the divine directors are talking about when they talk about these energetic overlays of the ascended presence. When the ascended presence really starts anchoring, when the I am presence really starts anchoring, and I can share my story from during the Atlantean Healing Chamber here, I was immobilized. And that was even after I've been preparing. Yeah. I was immobilized.
Yeah. One of the things to consider for each of you, because each of you is on your journey, your own self-ascension. And that journey is as unique as you, your consciousness and your history and all the intersections of the forces that resulted in this beautiful life of yours. Mm-hmm. What I've learned is that as my frequency has lifted, I had to refine my ingestions, my nourishments ever further. Yeah. And it meant getting educated, because I thought I had a pretty good beat on things.
We really did.
We were eating healthy.
We thought we were really on it.
and it's one of those things like, if you tell someone you're vegetarian, they get it. If you tell them you're a vegan, you go, oh, that's a little stronger. Well, now, how about being vegan and grain-free? And that's just a little more refined. And so these
grain-free, gluten-free, the whole deal.
Yeah. This is what we've learned, is that as the vibration lifts, we want to have foods that are really not contributing to any inflammation. An anti-inflammatory diet is what we're discovering is helping us feel more comfortable
in our ascended skin. And this is something that, it's every February is when we normally publish the annual Ascension Symptoms for the year. And this year, we're kind of giving you a sneak preview, because what you may have not known is that every single symptom we have ever published, we have personally experienced, and fortunately not for long periods of time. So our empathy is strong, and we understand. And even myself, until I could finally work with someone like Silvana and Patrick, I had finally, just out of being tired of pain, seeing, I don't even know how many doctors, all of them who dismissed me as either insane. The last one told me to go put turmeric on my feet and basically shut up. And so it was a fascinating journey that led us to the depth of consciousness. And that's where you are, my angels. October is a pop or drop moment. And part of that mastery is that not everyone you know or would hope or would pray is popping will. And some that you know will consciously drop.
Yes.
And the gift that every one of them is offering to every one of us is that with each person's clear choice, we are free to expand our collective consciousness. And this is really the essence of what's happening, is this cosmic awakening. And that's going to be tomorrow's show. We're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow, because in order to get to cosmic awakening, it is absolutely vital that you become aware of these energetic overlays and pay attention to them without letting the ego sabotage you around them, because that's where it's going to come in.
Well, and this is another, for many of you can relate to the example of perhaps picking up a tomato in one hand and a homegrown organic tomato in the other hand.
Yummy!
And while they may both have a similar red-orange presentation, but with a little sensitivity, you begin to sense the vitality, the difference. It's that kind of thing that when people drop, they may not know that they've dropped because they're only looking at it from the most basic level of, colors and form and density. As we lift, we begin to see the layers, not only the layers of perception, but the layers of energy that overlay everything without exception.
And that's what this is trying to share with you here, is that these energetic overlays are coming to you. They're like behind you. So if you notice, our beautiful cosmic awakening is happening looking forward into the cosmos. So it's like we're all standing behind, but you see all these pings and all these energies. What's trying to get the antenna of your consciousness? It's about knowing that's behind you. It's about knowing that it cannot affect you. It's about knowing that because the body has relaxed. Now, I want to bring your attention back to the very, very important ensoulment that came through the Divine Directors on September 22nd. It is posted at our website right now. If you go to the homepage of ShriandKira.com, it's right there. Click, you'll see it. Click on it. It's a PDF. Download it. Share it. Spread it, please. Because as you read it, it talks about this time, and it talks about reading that daily and paying attention, because that support is here. Remember, that came in September 22nd. And I think that it's pivotal to pay attention that we are being showered with support. And this is a moment to say thank you.
Right. And the purpose of support is to help you relax and flow with what is, versus to think somehow what is not right, or to judge it, or to try to control it in a way that's really outside your ability to do. And so there is grace in knowing, when we know the sun shines, the sun shines. I mean, we're not going to tell the sun, not today, it's going to shine. And so when this information, comes through and talks about the energetic climate that we're in, it gives us a moment of grace to say, so I can work with that. I can be with that, rather than feel buffeted by it.
Yeah, now breathe that in.
Yeah.
I mean, really breathe that in. Now, Shri, we have all these beautiful people holding, and so let's say hello to some of these gorgeous beings that have been waiting so long to speak with us. And let's go to Pueblo, Colorado.
All right.
Hey, Pueblo, Colorado. No, wait, I don't. Yes, we are. Okay, namaste, Pueblo.
Namaste, Shri and Kira. I just wanted to say this morning's ceremony was amazing. The last 2 months in particular have been so powerful and extending beyond when you sign off. And this morning was the same. But during the ceremony, I felt different things in my body, and I felt Sue's surgical site there, and I felt some things in my body. But then as I would say yes to receiving that energy, yes to that coming in, it started dissolving. All that pain started dissolving, and then it continued after you signed off, and it just brought me to this just beautiful, beautiful feeling of lightness. And then I was called to do cards of clarity, and I just wanted to tell you, because there are no accidents. I pulled Truth, Archangel Gabriel, and Source One. So it was just
I love that.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. And, it's almost like, okay, that's just too, like, you can't make that up. That's just too perfect.
You
Yes.
can't. And I just felt like I
Wow.
needed to say thank you so much. I am so grateful for both of you, for Sue, for just modeling, stepping through your fear, walking through it, and all the
Yes.
things that you gift us. And I love you both so much, and I love Sue so much, and I wish her a speedy recovery and what more of a beautiful place to recover in than Tosa.
We agree.
Yeah.
We agree. And we look forward to welcoming you back here soon, honey. We love you.
Me too. And anyone who isn't part of our community, why not? It is such a loving community. Get the app, be a part of our community, and you'll be supported every
Yes.
day.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Donna. Thank you with all our heart.
Much love, dear.
Namaste. Mwah. Bye, honey. Oh, Shri, my heart. Oh, well, where are we at? Okay, so, hey, we want to give a shout out to TFR Live and let all of you know that we're going to be taking a break right here, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes. And when we come back, we have a lot more to share about this energy and how to rise through it. And for all of you that are with us live, all of you that are watching us or listening to us at wherever affiliate you're watching, thank you for being here. And Shri, this is the part of the show that I like to call bonus time. It's
All the time is
3-minute
bonus time.
bonus time. And I love that. And so, guys, I do want to step in here for a moment, Shri, and share during our 3-minute bonus time that soul charting.
Yes.
Soul charting is starting on Tuesday. Now, I had said to Sue, I will only take so many because, I really work with everybody individually. But guys, my heart, if you want to do this, jump in. Just jump in. It's still up at the website. You can take advantage of it. And Shri, you made a coupon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if any of you, just strictly for our radio audience, YouTube audience, if you want to jump into this class, it's a powerful professional certification class. Just click on the product. You'll find it at the events page at Sri and Kira. And then when you get to the checkout, put in the coupon radio.
Just radio, RAD, and it doesn't matter if it's capital or small.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Just radio.
And that'll knock $40 right off the price and give you a little gift for your trust and get going, because this class starts Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And soul charting, if you were just looking at the graphic going, hey, what is that thing I'm looking at? Well, remember that ascended numerology is the original Essene system of numerology, and it was based on 13 digits. It's the 0 through the 12. And after the Council of Nicaea, and then of course because all of the original materials were burned during the Library of Alexandria, of course we all know that 0 and 13 digits all became off limits, and then your numerology shrank into 9 numbers, and then it also didn't take into account the nuances of other language systems.
Yes.
And so what's beautiful about ascended numerology is that it is unique to every language on the planet. It's almost, for me, it almost feels like we were before the Tower of Babel fell. Mm-hmm. It's like a decoding of all of that. And what it does is it literally charts your soul's journey. And one of the gifts that the Ascended Masters have blessed through me, and I'm very grateful, is the ability to teach you how to create your soul's chart and to teach it and offer it to others. This is, as Shri mentioned, this is a 6-session full professional course, and because we feel that it's really important for the planet, my gift to you is the entire home study program free. As soon as you register, you will get the entire home study program. Plus, we're going to be going live together, and I'll be teaching the advanced soul charting. So thank you for paying attention to the fact that October is the reason that I'm doing this, because October is a pop or drop moment. October is a moment where the more that we can be together and feed our consciousness with the ancient remembrance. The minute you touch this the system of numbers, you know it and you remember it and you start having those memories. The more that we can help each other remember, the more that we can just say, I'm right here and I'm not going anywhere. I understand. And no matter what you say, you can't chase me away. That's how we'll illuminate the planet. And October is that moment. So if your heart calls, check it out. Soul Charting. I would love to welcome you. Radio, when you check out, as a coupon, and you'll save $40.
Yeah,
it's already a great deal, but that's even better.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And to work with Kira Ra for 6 weeks in a row is a precious gift. You will be uplifted.
Well, and I'm excited because I'll be inviting volunteers from the group, and I'll be doing your charts as part of the way I'm teaching this. So I'm very excited to get to know some of you better as well.
Yeah. And for those of you that want to jump on the call board, give us a ring, 517-208-1500. There is room for more.
There is. And I also want to say welcome back to TFR. Hey, TFR, we are delighted to be back. And, you know, Shri, as we were talking about right before we went off on our 3-minute break, which was about why soul charting, check it out, starts Tuesday, October 13th, ShriandKira.com. Yes. I had to say that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now's the time.
But I want to go back to, you know, we opened up today talking about this energy that's coming in for 2020. And remember, you will by tomorrow be able to go to ShriandKira.com and read the entire 2020 predictions. We might make a video of it. I don't know. But we will get that out there as well. So I want to read again because we read it in the first half, and I think we should read it again.
May I
read it?
Please,
okay.
Please.
And then I want to dive into a couple other things here because we started talking about the body, right, and about what's happening right now. So I'm going to read it again. Hand, heart, huh? Many are feeling, sensing, knowing this through the network of symptomology you share so freely as Ascension Symptoms. These symptoms are more accurately understood as an energetic overlay of the ascended presence. As the rising vibrations of Gaia and all of her inhabitants escalates, this presence, the ascended presence, is calling to your body lovingly and firmly. Now, this is part of that universal tap on the shoulder we've been talking about. Yeah. This is part of that if not now, when. I think for Shri and I, we were certainly at our if not now, when moment, even if the universe had to throw some surgery in the middle of it. And so I think that that's, you know, something to pay attention to. And Sue just went through her moment as well. What is your body inviting you to do? I know that my body right now is saying it really almost doesn't want to eat. And so I've just been honoring that, you know.
Her body is calling for refinement, purification, and many of you, that would look like a cleanse or juicing. Listen, and we started to talk about this earlier. I want to come back to it.
Exactly.
Every one of us is in a habit. Your perceptual lens is a habit. Yes. Your point of view is a habit. Yes. Your personality, the way we respond to things, that's a habit. Yeah. Not saying it's bad. I'm saying it has a predictable quality to it, and that's what makes it a habit. Well, if your vibration is lifting, if your world is expanding, if your perceptions are shifting, time for a little different habit, I think. Methinks, they say. And so it's important to have a little mercy on yourself and say, okay, something's knocking at my door. My body is talking to me. Spirit is talking to me. It's time to listen carefully and make more refined choices. This is the encouragement we're offering to you, and I think this is what the divine directors are also pointing toward in this beautiful ensoulment, is that the ascended presence is overlaying into your zone of interaction, your physical body, your dimensional experience. And it's kind of like a call home. It's saying, hey, here we are. Let's align with our highest expression.
If you're awake to it. And I think this is think this is the next step of this conversation, because this is what this graphic is about. Because everybody, they clearly say all. Right? They clearly say all. So this ascended opportunity, let's call it that, right? This ascended opportunity, which in its most banal form is really the moment where you can anchor in the fifth dimension. And I mean not in the area that's being kind of coagulated by the fourth dimension. I'm talking about really anchor in the fifth, where the compassionate, I call it the open arms of compassion, are so wide open that the wide angle lens melts any sense of lower frequency emotionality. Let's just put it that way. And so how do we do that? And we are able to do that right now is by what you just said, that welcome awareness of the fact that this is here by receiving what the body is doing versus fear and panic about what the body is doing. And I just want to give an example, okay? I almost went into fear and panic over Shri. And I think all of you know, right? I mean, it's been a fascinating 2019. And there were moments over the past several years, probably almost, oh my goodness gracious, maybe 6 or 7 now, especially when I was being told that I had lupus and all the other things, where I could see where that self-fulfilling spell cast, right? Because isn't that what all of that is? Yeah. Isn't diagnosing a spell cast that we can either empower or not, a moment of mastery? So I see all of that. And then when we anchor into a higher frequency of consciousness through saying, yes, my body has most likely been saying to me for a year, stop eating grain. I bet for a year my body has said, you don't need to eat more than 1 meal a day, maybe. I bet for a year it's been saying water and lemon are going to be your best friend. And it's been my own resistance that kept that pain threshold stuck there. Yeah. So I'm sharing this with you because that's what the overlays are. What has your attention? What's trying to be the antenna? What's trying to get the radar of your consciousness? Or as Archangel Zadkiel says, keep your eyes on the divine at all times. As long as we're looking ahead, this is always behind us.
An energetic overlay is not a belief system.
No.
This is another refinement, another discernment.
Yeah.
When we have a belief system, we tend to filter our experience so it conforms to the beliefs.
Right.
And of course, if we believe in certain dogmatic things, we can believe in bad luck, and we can believe in problems around money and sexuality and all the rest of it. So those belief systems actually interfere with our full experience because we are commanding the light to conform to the belief. An energetic overlay gives us a new opportunity to be. And it may, in fact, confront some of your beliefs because the very part of you that might resist the overlay could point to an old, outdated belief about...
And it usually will. It usually will.
Yeah. And so you look at this, say, here's a gift from Spirit. I get a chance to turn on the flashlight and look a little more deeply at my knee-jerk reactions, my automatic responses.
I got to jump in here for a second, Sri, because you're reminding me of something. And those of you it sounds like a lot of you that were with us this morning during our extraordinary monthly ceremony will, I think, understand why I want to bring it up. We had in the Q&A today, in the Mastery Mentorship, one of our beautiful community members, Ankyo, asked, hey, how do I know when I'm in the fourth dimension? What is that experience like? And this is this is just such a perfect moment to bring this up because this is the October moment as well. Remember that including this whole 5G, which Sri and I are putting out a video, but we're taking our time, is that this month there is an attack on consciousness that will do its best to get you to attack yourself. And this is why Sri and I are almost fanatical about talking to you and sharing this information and inviting you. And it's fascinating. At the time that we are sharing the most important information is the time when we're seeing a lot of fascinating, let's just say, interference energy over at YouTube. So it's a fascinating moment. Yeah. Really fascinating moment.
Interference energy is not limited to YouTube. I want to say, more and more people are recognizing that the outer world seems to be messing with them at times. That obstacles are thrown in a car accident, a certain pathway that normally is open is closed.
Right, and a lot of people we know. One of our dear beloved hosts at Oneness Talk Radio, Zadok Ra Osiris, was his car was totaled last night on the way to get his shoes because he was on the UFO cruise today. I mean, wild stuff is happening, guys. Yeah. But here's the key. We're not going to be deterred. We're not stopping. We're just going to keep going.
You don't meet it at the level it was sent. Just keep going.
And that's how you know whether you're in a fourth dimensional experience. If you are angry, if you are reactive, if you are watching videos that leave you pumped up and you want to go punch somebody, pay attention, because this is the gift of anchoring in the fifth dimension. The compassion. This is why Shri and I have been sending out, starting last month, please send compassionate love and support to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. If ever there was a time when that presence needs to be visible, it's right now. And he is in his own process. And so may we all hold his arms. May we hold each other's arms and stand here unified. That's the gift, because this is here, guys, and nothing's going to stop it. The question is, are you giving are you giving the devil more of its due? Meaning, where are your eyes? And I think Archangel Zadkiel started all these years ago saying, keep your eyes on the divine at all times.
And by doing so,
yes.
you will have a divine experience.
Always.
And
Always. I love
the
it.
Truth will set you free.
Absolutely. Now, Shri, we have callers standing by. I also have emails. Where would you like to go?
All right. Let's do them both.
Let's do them both. Okay. So this is, we've had a couple that I think are really, we try to pick ones that kind of are universal. And I think this one's very universal. So this one, the subject line I thought was pretty accurate.
All right. It begins in the subject, claiming mastery after the storm.
Yes.
Namaste, Shri and Kira. I wanted to thank you for your mini soul reading last Saturday. Dealing with all that mucky interference the past weeks has been truly exhausting.
Yeah, I hear you.
And the reading really helped me break free from the junk that I've been allowing for too long to hang onto me.
That's a mastery declaration.
Yeah, because sometimes we get used to the junk.
Right, exactly.
Versus taking action.
Well, and taking responsibility.
Yep.
I mean, this is a mastery statement. It really is.
This week, I've been working on releasing and removing any and all negative attachments and lower astral thought patterns from my energy field.
Impressive.
After a week, the results are great.
Yay!
But there was a time on Tuesday where the darkness got really mad that I was commanding my light. This dark, gray, negative force was literally trying to crush me. Through guidance, I felt the need to call in the prayers and positive energy of a few friends and stand in my mastery.
Wow.
After 2 days, the attack stopped, and I feel more free.
Congratulations.
Today, I was at the doctor's, and while waiting for them in the room, I saw with my third eye a big being of white light sitting on the medical table. And on the other chair, I saw a smaller being which looked golden.
Oh.
I was nervous before this, and after seeing them, I felt a lot calmer.
No kidding.
It's like my ability to see beyond the density has opened up since a week ago.
Yes.
It's awesome. I'm now trying to resolve this physical problem involving my digestive system with the doctors and trusting for a good resolve soon. Thank you for your love and support. Many blessings, Benjamin.
So, Benjamin, you already know that Shri and I see the mastery of this email, and I know all of you listening do too. And, of course, now you know why we read your email. Body. Okay, my love, the whole reason that my diet has changed the way it is because my body will no longer allow me to digest anything. So I really encourage you, certainly pay attention to what your doctor has to say. Consider from a left brain standpoint, reading no grain, no pain, and also feel into your heart more water, more green most likely, a lot more breath. And I, with all my heart and soul, please, October is such a month of breath. It really is. Go to our app. It's free, right? Spiritual Mastery with Shri and Kira, either at Android or Apple. And the Om Aum breath practice taught by my beloved Sri Ramka is on there. It's free. This is the month to really master that process. It will keep this behind you. It really will.
Yeah, and just to add another moment, you have witnessed for yourself what resolve can accomplish.
Yeah.
Spiritual tenacity means I resolve to keep walking even when there is resistance or other forces that seem to be very much friction-based. Tenacity means I hang on to my beliefs. Resolve means I'm going to take action based on what I am, my truth.
Exactly.
So keep going, my friend. You will prevail.
And you're doing great. I mean, even the way that you share is saying, I'm aware. And that's the gift, right? That your cloak is off, you're seeing the beliefs, and you're trusting what you're seeing. I think one of the greatest smiles for me in your letter, Benjamin, was that when you saw the illuminated beings instead of being afraid of them, which many people are, they gave you the comfort. And that is a sign of adapting into multidimensional space where you're not doubting yourself, where you're not going, oh my gosh, where you're not being afraid, where you're saying yes. So thank you for saying yes. I mean, it really is a yes moment. So let's go to the call board, Sri. Where are we going?
Well,
looks like California, maybe?
Looks like we have a wireless caller from Concord, California.
Concord, California. Namaste. Welcome.
Hi, Sri. Hi, Kira. It's Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Welcome.
Hi, Angel. Namaste.
Oh, namaste so much. I'm grateful you took my call, and I wanted to ask three things. Basically, what I've had a wonderful healing from the sessions with Sri a couple of weeks ago, and what had happened was I'd always thought when I met my inner child that my inner child would look just like me. However, my inner child is a dark, long-haired beauty, and I am wondering, is that truly my inner child? She's beautiful, and she's helped me so much over the last several weeks that I've been doing my inner work. And I just wanted to check in with you. Is that true? Is this my little personal Kira?
Oh, bless your heart. I want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to bring your hands to your heart. I'm doing the same with you right now. And again, breathing up through the nose, feel it circulate, come down out the throat, out the mouth, okay? Breathing up, bring it into a circle, out the mouth. And I want you to feel into her. And I'm feeling into her at this moment, and I'm watching her turning and looking at you. And she's saying, I will keep appearing this way until you can love yourself more. And then we will see each other as one. And so it is.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I understand.
Yes, you are. No, thank you, my angel. Thank you
Very
for the
good.
blessing of you and bringing that gift to this show right now. Namaste, angel. Many blessings.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You know, Sri, I want to take a moment because that is so indicative of this month.
Yeah.
You know, this month is very much about, are we able to love ourselves enough that no matter what is being thrown, knowing that this will actually get better October 31st onward, and knowing that we have this 90-day window to really pay attention to our body, because that's why the divine directors asked that we put out these 2020 revelations in October. That's why they invited me to be doing the soul charting in October, because this is actually a month of celebration, a month of expansion, and a month of incredible preparation. And I feel very strongly that they're saying you got 90 days to get into the best shape, or into the shape you want to be, or to restore the vitality you're trying to restore, because 2020 is gonna rock. And that's what I'm getting, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I want to segue a little bit from this
Please.
caller. When we have multiple bodies. There is our physical body, which is our sacred vessel for this journey in individuated form. And the more we can take good care of our body without being in a dogmatic top dog, underdog relationship. I know for myself in the early years of trying to improve, quote, improve my body, what I was really saying is I disapprove of my body.
Right? I'm trying to correct it in ways that are strange and unusual.
And so this tension was always there, and I never got the results that I was seeking because I was judging myself. Now, later on, as we move into a more grace-filled, ascended perspective and relationship and union, now the body became more of a partner and is informing me of its needs, and I'm perhaps even refining that, saying, are you needing that which you've experienced before, or would you be willing to try something new? Because this is where your good mind can come in. You can extrapolate on the signals and check out your choices.
Yeah.
So without dwelling there, the next body is your emotional body. Your emotional body is an actual identity, and it has its own form and shape and reality. And that emotional body is the one that, of course, carries a lot of hurts and childhood stuff, and it's a direct pipeline to the inner child.
Yeah.
And it's also a direct pipeline to having a joyful experience, a creative, wonderful experience while you're alive here in body. And so the emotional body, I want to speak to this for a moment, because the inner child is along for the journey, either happily or in discomfort.
Ooh.
Okay, so imagine that it's like being on an airplane ride, and you have an unhappy baby sitting next to you. It can affect the quality of the ride, and if
Or
you
not.
and you can have an unhappy inner child inside of you. And if you continue to deny the presence of that, we become ever stiffer, ever more symptomatic, and ever more disconnected from the richness of our lives. If we lean into a healthy communion with the inner child, then what happens is all of the old pains start to resolve automatically. And this inner child, as our caller shared, may present in a way that you didn't expect, may have a story to share with you
Exactly.
that you didn't expect.
A healing opportunity.
It's all healing opportunities.
Yeah.
Anytime we can move into a place of non-judgment, especially toward ourselves, because once we can do it here, it's easier to offer that to everyone else.
And that's the fifth dimension anchorship.
Yes.
That's it. That is the key. And that's why I've always found that every one of these shows, you as such a beautiful, beloved community, we always co-create these shows together. We always have the perfect callers, the perfect emails, because in this moment right now, the key is, can you love yourself enough to not only stay in the ascended presence, but to pop, to really, really pop. And as you do, this month, everything will pop with you. It's going to be about where your eyes are. If ever there was a moment to keep our eyes on the divine at all times and to keep the rest of this behind us, it's right now. What's got your attention? And honestly, my angels, if not now, when? And if not you, who? This is the moment at hand. And it's not saying that you have this burden in front of you. It's saying you have this choice, and let it be extraordinary and fun. And I will share that, especially knowing that we have to pay attention to the body the way that we have. That has been, I was reflecting, Shri, that the last time you were this thin was when we had only been married about a year and a half, and we were doing the 40-day water fast. Was the last time you were in these jeans. That's how old these jeans are.
I have neckties older than those.
You do. It's true. But right? Am I right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why
it's
you
an
had
interesting
to quickly.
circle.
It is an interesting circle, because even though it was through horrific means from the eyes of density, you have very quickly achieved a state of being with your body that I'm taking a few extra months to get to, but it's balancing an energy that's coming forward. And what about you? And I want to go back to Benjamin talking about the digestion. And I also had someone this morning in the Miracle Mastery Mentorship talking about vertigo. And again, this month is about breath. And if you're getting that vertigo, the Om breath, bring greater breath. A lot of times we're resisting. Remember, this is a month where our yes choice is an every breath choice.
Being out of balance, being, quote, disoriented, means we're reorienting.
Yes, we are.
Okay?
We
so
are.
You have a little wobble, you go, oh, I'm reorienting. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, give yourself the benefit of every support that you can have, and that would include your breath, your nourishment, your emotional environment. Are you surrounded by people that make you, contribute to an upliftment, that help you feel better? Are you attending, if you're watching a movie or whatever else you might be watching, is it something that helps you feel more spacious and trusting?
Yeah.
Or does it engage the mind of fear? Be mindful of these things.
Because these are, again, those fourth dimensional experiences. And we're going to talk a lot more about this tomorrow. However, I do want to share with all of you that in this third dimensional coagulation that has happened, the third dimension is the third dimension. And if you consider it, it's the way I like to describe it is it's this beautiful little point, and it's not a big point. It's actually the smallest point of the growth experience, but it's a valuable point. And without it, the mosaic is not complete. It is now really in its moment of digging in. Okay. And that's why the fourth dimension is so happy. But it's also why the fourth dimension is getting even more and more empowered. And it's also why you're seeing ego and judgmentalism and all of the other isms rise again, because that's the feasting of the fourth dimension.
Yeah.
And then enter the 5G technology that's actually bridging two dimensions to come after consciousness. It's a big moment, and we're going to talk more about that tomorrow as well. But I want to share right now that someone was asking for me to clarify the start of the soul charting because I misspoke earlier. Forgive me. It is October 13. It is actually happening on Sunday evenings. And so it's Sunday evenings.
Oh, Sunday evening.
And,
My
and
mistake.
if you go to our website, shriankira.com, and it'll say right there, starts October 13th, right on the homepage. Click on it, and if you go in, you'll see all the dates are listed right there. And remember, if you can't be there for each session, you can always get you will get the recording of everything. So thank you for asking. I didn't realize I had misspoken.
Yeah, me too.
I get in the
needed that
flow,
clarity.
and you guys, don't ever trust Kira with linear time. It's true. It's true. I admit it.
Yes. And so this time we're in as conscious beings, you know, there is plenty to attend to.
Yes.
And it always starts here. It starts with your particular perspectives and experiences because you are processing for more than yourself.
Yes.
This is another piece where we need to have a little compassion toward ourselves. The journey of being a conscious being is one where you say, I am illuminating the way for myself and my soul family and those that I have contracts with.
Love it.
And this is not a burden. This is a joy. You're not alone. You get to travel together and you get to receive information and get to receive energetic connections in ways that are really beyond our density brain's capacity. The key is to recognize that we must honor our path, which means taking rest, taking nourishment,
Listening to our body.
Yeah, being with loving communities, such
Yeah.
as the community that gathers here every weekend. These are the important things that will sustain you through those little mini dark nights. And I say mini because they come and go.
Well, and I want to jump in, Sri, because there's also the adrenaline addiction to drama and anger. Remember
Yes.
that these trolling, right? Trolling is an addiction. Because it triggers an adrenaline. It's looking for that engagement. It's addicted to drama. And what trolling really is fear. It's saying, you're challenging me. I don't feel comfortable expanding. And that's why we are all blessed to recognize that when we lift through that, we are free. And to recognize that if that is happening, that is the first sign of fourth dimensional interference, because fourth dimensional interference is always ego justified, and so is all trolling. You are free of all of that because the ascended presence is here now.
So, beloved ones, as we come to a close today, may you breathe deeply, fully, trust yourselves, and join us tomorrow for Shri and Kira Live at noon Pacific time.
Exciting.
We love you.
Namaste.